The mirror in my motel room showed a different version of me. I thought the mirror was just old warped glass, bad lighting, nothing unusual, until my reflection stopped moving and smiled. It was just supposed to be a place to sleep. I was halfway through a 16-hour drive somewhere in the middle of nowhere between Arizona and California. I almost drove past it, but the buzzing vacancy sign flickered on just as I slowed down. The sun had set behind me an hour earlier, and my eyelids were starting to twitch every time I blinked. The kind of place you don't want to look at too closely. But it was quiet, and I was too tired to care. I couldn't risk nodding off behind the wheel, so I pulled off the highway when I saw a faded neon sign, Desert Palms Motel. The reflection looked off. Not scary, just not quite right. My shirt was a little wrinkled, my eyes bloodshot, but there was something strange in the way I moved, like there was a slight delay. I figured I was just overtired. The air felt heavy, like the room had shrunk around me. My skin was cold and damp, though the air was still. The only sound was the soft hum of a cheap wall AC unit. It looked abandoned at first. Half the bulbs on the sign were out, and the lot was empty, except for one pickup truck caked in dust. When I looked again, the reflection had caught up, mimicking me perfectly. Maybe I'd imagined it. Maybe I was dreaming. Turned the light on just to shake off the weirdness. After a few minutes of pacing the room, I sat down on the edge of the bed facing the mirror. The woman at the front desk looked like she hadn't slept in days. Stringy hair, distant eyes, pale like she'd never seen daylight. She barely looked at me, just slid a key across the counter and muttered, "Room 6. No smoking. Bathroom's acting up." The room wasn't much: bed, desk, lamp, TV that didn't work, and a large rectangular mirror above a stained dresser. The mirror version of me stood perfectly still, smiling faintly, as if amused by my fear. I remember glancing in the mirror before taking a shower. I didn't think much of it until later that night. It was maybe 2:30 in the morning when I woke up. I sat up and glanced around. Everything was where it should be, like the room was safer than whatever was beyond the parking lot, except the mirror. I swear to God my reflection was still lying down, even though nothing was behind me. It didn't follow me. It just stayed there, eyes shut, as I sat up in bed and stared in horror. I blinked hard, rubbed my eyes. Then it happened again. I raised my left hand. My reflection raised its right, but just a second too late, and then it smiled. The deadbolt slid back and forth just fine, but the knob felt jammed, like it was welded in place. I remember stumbling backward, hitting the wall behind me, heart pounding in my throat. Then it matched me again, like nothing had happened. I almost left right then, but something about the night outside, the total silence, the way the air seemed thicker, the closer I got to the door, kept me frozen. I turned the mirror toward the wall. I must have fallen asleep again somehow, because I woke up to the sound of tapping, and the smile stretched too wide, almost like it hurt to maintain. Rhythmic, delicate. It was coming from the mirror. I hadn't imagined turning it. Tit was facing the wall, back exposed. But now I could see a faint movement in the reflection. I sat in the bathroom with the lights on, door locked, listening to faint tapping from the other room. I moved closer. The glass was cool to the touch. Then the reflection twitched. The woman from before gone, the desk dusty, like no one had been there for days, my own face smiling again, while mine remained frozen. And this time, it knocked on the other side. For slow, deliberate taps, then again, and again. I backed away, grabbed my bag, and went straight to the door, but the knob wouldn't turn. Then, from behind me, heard the soft sound of footsteps, on carpet, but I hadn't moved. I turned around, and the mirror was facing me again. I didn't move it. The reflection was now standing at the edge of the bed, grinning wide, motionless. But it wasn't me anymore. The features were close, yes, but the eyes were just a little too dark, the mouth a little too long. It raised a hand and pointed at me. Then it mouthed something I couldn't hear. I stepped closer. It mouthed it again. Let me in. Sunlight poured in like nothing had happened. I ran to the front desk to check out, but the lobby was empty. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. In the morning, the door opened just fine.
Yes.
I left the key and drove away without looking back. But ever since that night, Sometimes, when I catch my reflection in a mirror, just for a split second, it's still smiling. I'm not.